volume.
Alright, it's up.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Alright, just make sure the bot is in full volume so it's like, it doesn't overlay.
It is so poggers. Turn my volume up. There we go. Okay, so... Hold on, make sure... Okay, well, welcome guys! Welcome guys to the podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves today. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about my upcoming stop-motion movie called Soldier's Land, The Battle of Jonica, Little Falls. Today for this podcast, I wanted to focus on what I want to achieve for this film. But for this purpose, the purpose and end goal for this film is to create a film with immense realism, but a different but more broad approach to storytelling. Jonica, which is what the film is called, is what I want it to be. Is what I want the film to be is not just grabs the viewer's attention, but it expands their knowledge of the world around them and watching it as it unfolds. When you look at these other Armymen stop-motion films, you often see storytelling, but one thing I don't see often is explain the backstory or the lore or the world behind the film itself. With my film Jonica, I want to change that. I want to usher in a stop-motion film where the story of the world in the film is being explained in more depth and detail. This is where my new film comes in. You might think I'm crazy and need a reality check, but let me explain. When you watch a film, you ask questions. Even if you don't realize it, deep down in your brain, you ask yourself, what is going on, not just in the story, but in the world around us that we are watching unfold. Then, as more of those questions, the more of those questions are answered, we then get more questions, then more questions, and then eventually you map out, as the viewer of the film, and picture what happened in the story, or in this case, the movie. What I particularly want to achieve for my upcoming film is for the story to explain not just what is going on at the time, but to also explain explain the lore and what happens behind the scenes during the story. Take the General Mo's. Oh, this is perfect. The music perfect for this. Take the General Mo's film Lego vs. Armymen, for example. This film, created by the General Mo, not only explained the story, but explained what led up to it, how the war started, which was in the first one, who attacked first, which it was explained in the first film. Then, of course, that led to more questions. Who's going to win the war? This is a prime example of what I'm trying to achieve from an upcoming film of mine. I don't want the story to tell this new film to explain what happens at one certain point in time. I want the story to cover everything. How the story started. What happened before in the past that contributed to the start of the war. Why the two opposing forces are fighting for whatever they're fighting for. Then again, this turns to more questions such as, is one side's morale high or low? What kind of weapons do they have? Do any of the sides fighting have allies? Or is that going to affect the war effort at hand? Storytelling like this in depth, especially in stop-motion film, is important. It is without this type of in-depth storytelling is one of the major things that people don't often realize to make a hit film. This is why I want to achieve this accurate but in-depth storytelling. But in order for the storytelling to make sense, the story must have realism. For example, if one side is invading the beaches of another, then explain why. Not just why, but how is this possible? Or, what are the characters' motives for doing this or that? Oh, sorry. Then tell the audience why they are doing that one thing. Storytelling, in my eyes, needs realism. It needs realism, people. It goes together, in my opinion, like father and son. Realism is what makes a story stand out, and what makes it original, and what makes it unique, and makes sense. It helps the viewer understand what's happening in the story, what's going on in the film, around you, and what you're experiencing. This is why Jonica must be great. Not just great, but achieve what I want to achieve. I literally, true story, added 2 more scenes to the script recently. Not to get popular and, make it longer, but to achieve what I want the film to be. Jonica, when I came up with it, was and is written with originality and diverse storytelling in itself. Jonica, I don't want it to be like my previous films. I want it to be a story, to tell a story that will make the audience ask questions, then more questions, to the point where they feel as they're on the inside of the world and the film itself. I want it to not just let the audience leap out of their chairs, but to leap into the lore and storytelling of the film itself. Because if there's one thing, and that one thing is of what I learned from my time as an independent filmmaker, it's that storytelling is everything in all films, including character, but especially storytelling. And it can make or break a film. That is all I have to say for now, and now we're going to get on to the questions. So lower the music a tiny bit when we're doing questions, alright? See text. Alright, so I know alright, so that's alright, so I'm sure y'all have a lot of questions. Victoria, do you want to start?
Of course. Thanks for having me on the podcast, first of all. And it's a pleasure to be collaborating with you.
Sure thing, man.
So the first question I'm asking is, the movie is going to be a direct sequel from your previous one of Armymen, right?
Well, it's actually a prequel. It's before Fort Shiver, Fort Tucker, and the rest of the films. And I'm gonna actually tell you the plot because so give me a second. Ooh. Okay, so basically this is the plot for the Plurican campaign and an invasion of Jonica. So it's basically, the World War, the first World War in my universe. After World War I, Plastic One, and Soldiers Land. One of the things the Tans lost was part of their homeland. And this is all before the Fort Tucker, Fort Shiver, the Red Scow video, if you saw that one. So basically, the island of Jonica it's been part of the Tan Nation before, up to this point, for 400 years. And in my universe, Armymen has existed for thousands of years, basically. So far in the lore, as I built it up. The Tans, 400 years ago, they colonized this piece of dirt in the ocean, so they could navigate trade and then keep away pirates. The island itself is in symbolic importance to the Tans. Hold on. Yeah. This island not only helps with trade, but also taught them how the Tan Nation, how to have a good navy. And the island, because the Tan's climate, if you know the Armament games and stuff, it's, they're in the desert environment. And Jonica, it was a desert environment. It was basically, like the pigs call it, a floating piece of sand, if you get what I'm saying. So, the the island not only helped with trade, or that the island was perfect for the Tans and to colonize and to explore. All right, so I wanna hold on. Where was I? To explore. Okay, I'm actually gonna. I have any questions about that part of the plot, basically.
Oh, you said that everything matters with the storytelling in the animation. I personally agree. I love writing. Personally, it's one of my favorite things. And I do think that the emphasis should always be on the story rather than the animation, which comes secondary. But without the good structure, there is no good animation.
Yes, and yes.
So, how would you describe the setting more? You explained that it's like a deserty place and it is an island.
Yes.
Is it a real existing island in the world, or is it a fictional?
It's a fictional. So basically, the solar universe or the planet itself, it's all fictional. It's all made up. It's all fake. If maybe you heard, never seen, if you've seen the Armymen games, it's that basically like their own world, their own like planet Earth, if you get what I'm saying. Now in the far future, like the real far future, like 10, maybe 20 years down the line, even not do this that long. Who knows? They could be directing movies by then, full-fledged live action, but you never know. But I'm kind of thinking. I was kind of thinking like. I forgot what I was gonna say, but dang. Well, you really, I'm just gonna tell you the plot. I forgot what I was gonna say. That's a shame.
I was gonna ask. You could continue. I was gonna ask. What do you think the distinction between the two, for example, ideologies or the ideas or the motives of the two opposing sides are, the ones that fight the war in your series?
Okay, so there's two I guess to say alliances, factions, and I'm gonna get to that in the plot. But these, when I read the plot, the first one is called the Tanner Powers, and the second one is called the Allies.
Bruh.
I know I couldn't come in with everything original there, but forgive me. So the Tanner Powers, they want to expand their influence. They're tired of being humiliated, and the Allies just want to keep the peace, you know. And basically, as you want to read, the Pinks, their morale's low. They don't want to fight another war, and kind of getting like a referencing from like the French in 1940. Like they didn't want to fight. They're like, no, I don't want to fight. Please, you know. And no offense, but it's history. And I'm not. And trust me, I literally studied World War II. Just checking out the VC chat, see what's going on. But I checked. I've been studying World War II since 2018, so I know what I'm talking about. But anyways, my point is, and as I'm gonna read, and it'll make more sense to you why they're fighting and stuff as I read this plot.
All right. So, what particular themes do you think the series in general is going to touch and expand upon? Like some keywords you could describe that would describe the entire plot in a more quick way that you could get around to people.
Just think of like Thermopylae, but modern day, okay? Like, basically, I'm sorry about that. Thermopylae, you know, the Spartans fought. Think of that with the Pink Army Men. And the plot's gonna explain like all these questions as it goes. So for all these questions are gonna be answered in the plot. But really the keyword, really just general keywords like war, dramatic, emotion, story, pretty much. But you'll see where I'm going with this. Have any more questions for like right now?
Could you describe the process of how exactly you animate your videos? Because everyone has a different sort of style how they do stuff.
Okay, so as you may have noticed yourself, actually, Victorians, I use I got Final Cut Pro recently, and I film at 12 to 14 frames per second, and I use an animation called stop motion. Stop motion animation. It's a type of film art, or like a film where you take frames and then you take more photos and then you put the photos or frames together and make it a fluent film. And what I used on the Final Cut Pro is a technique called optical flow. Optical flow is basically, it takes the frames, the footage, and makes it smoother. It makes it better, basically, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. How would you describe the process of how it smoothens it out? Like, how does it work?
Ooh. I haven't really researched that part of optical flow, but I think, from what I heard my TV production teacher, I think it adds frames into it or something like that. It's kind of actually really good. It's really good technology.
Yeah.
It's kind of like CGI for stop motion, if you think about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, time's gonna run out. Like, I don't know what the podcast is gonna be, but I really want to have to get those plots, so unless it's a very dire question, I'm gonna have to, Okay, so what? Okay, the island was perfect for the Tans. So they decided to colonize and to explore the island. The island of Jonica was mostly desert, and it had little vegetation. It's an island floating, like Pink said, floating. I'm sorry, my mouth dry. Okay, but there's one thing that sets it apart from the Tan's homeland, though. There was a plentiful of water, like underground, basically. Welcome. The famous water source, Little Falls, is of symbolic importance to both the Pinks and the Tans. It's the biggest water source on the island. It's an important checkpoint to travel around the island. Little Falls, it's located in the middle of the island, basically, where it's gonna be an important part of the story when you watch the movie. So it's vital. Little Falls is vital if you want to control the island. Basically, if you control Little Falls, you control off the water source, and you control off the water source, probably gonna control the island, or have it at your mercy, if you get what I'm saying. The Tans love this island. And its desert climate for many years. This was not last forever, though. The Pinks, and this is where I think one of your questions, I can't remember, but one of your questions goes into play. The Pinks wanted this, what? Yes?
I was gonna ask, was there inspiration for the water source from Mad Max Fury Road? Because it had a lot of similar themes of the control of water and the fight for it in this desert place.
They're really, I was thinking of kind of like Thermopylae and the French in 1940, if you get what I'm saying. And not really D-Day, but except if you think about the beach landing, but kind of just historical. Thermopylae was a little later on, but really just the French in 1940 and and Last Stands, and you know what I'm saying? Basically, Jonica is just a plot written itself. It's full of originality, and that's the main thing about it. Jonica, it's special. It's gonna be a special place in my heart. In my heart, because But yeah, I don't want to get off topic. But yeah, really, the only real inspiration so far with it is 1940 France, and it's which I'm sure you guys historians know. But and the Thermopylae from Sparta, which kind of led to the end game in the movie, basically. where they make their, you know, I'm not gonna ruin it for y'all, but
yeah, no spoilers.
but really, yeah. Okay, so maybe you have a question about the water source.
Oh yeah. How exactly does the monopoly of the water source work? Like, how do you explain the corporate side?
Well,
Relates to water and such.
The water. Alright, I haven't really wrote though any corporations. I'm not that in depth with my film series yet, but I will say that the water is an important. I want it to make an important thing in like Soldiers Land lore, because that's why the pink tans stay. That's like the main reason the tans even stayed in the first place. The tans. Oh my god. The tans. You know, you need water to live. And when the tans find the water, they're like, oh, I'm staying here indefinitely. I'm building cities. I'm building, you know. So what I'm going to get to, when the pinks invaded, all this water is now in the pink's hands, and you'll see how that helps the Pink Nation as well as I go into the plot more. Yeah. I can take one more question, actually.
Alright. So this is a more technical question.
Yeah.
It's more variety. I'd like to ask the models. What paints do you use to edit them? For example, I remember you were applying some texture to the tanks and such.
That's an excellent question. Alright, so there's actually a lot of model kits out there, like model brands for model kits. But the paints I use is Tamiya. It's called Tamiya paints. It's created by Tamiya models, and they have glue there, which I use. Sorry about this. I'm scratching my mustache, but it's called Tamiya models. I'll show you later, Victorian. I'll actually show you later. I'll send you a link or something to it. But yeah, the model kits I build, they're for the film, so I don't really look for historical accuracy in it. Let's see. Okay, I was just saying the VC chat real quick, making sure everything's alright. But I probably want to edit the VC chat things up. But well, what were you saying? Oh yeah, the Tamiya paints. The Tamiya paints, they're the best paints you can have for like model kits. There's a variety of colors too. It ain't like blue, pink. It ain't like the alphabet of the colors, basically. There's a whole variety. I like this. I like this one too. Okay, but yeah. Alright, let me get to the plot. But I think you'll really find it interesting as I get into it. Okay. So the paints in the jeez. There, let me lower the music of my thing a little bit so y'all can hear my mic. Let me actually, I'm gonna raise my, of course I'm gonna edit this out, I'm gonna raise my voice a little bit. Oh, my input voice is already out of the way. I'm gonna lower the output like by a few percent. That's better, just for now. Still be able to hear you, but
how's your mic like?
It just failed on the computer. But alright, let me get to the plot before I start messing around. So the Pinks in the First World War, they decided to seize the island of Jericho for themselves. For the Pinks, this island had one importance. It was near their homeland. And I'm eventually going to explain why the Tans didn't realize it. Well, actually they did realize, but it was a little bit later. Huge later than they met the Pinks, and I'm going to explain that later on. It's going to be interesting. But, where was I? It was near the homeland, and had a plentiful of oil there. So the Tans, they discovered the water, but there was actually oil deeper down in the island, actually. And basically, it was deeper than the water. Like, you know, like this is the water, and this is basically the oil. So to explain that. Let me see. Pinks wanted to secure.
Guess what happened?
You wanna join? And I'm probably gonna edit that out. I'm making a blooper. Yeah, I'm not editing this video, by the way, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm not showing that to like 13-year-olds or 18-year-olds in college. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Put on a shirt or something. Yeah.
Sorry, I busted the US Navy and I had to go find a suitable
I don't really get cameras that much. I use a phone for stop motion, but I mean, I'm gonna get a camera soon. Think about the T8i or the T7i, honestly.
Bruh.
But yeah, I'm gonna edit this out probably. I'm gonna make it all bloopers. If I make a blooper, it'd be nice. Whew, I gotta get my helmet off actually. For a second, I'm really starting to sweat inside the helmet. But okay, let's continue. So as I said, there was a plentiful. All right, recap. Plentiful oil. Pinks invade. Let's get back into it. The Pinks wanted this oil so they can build their own navy. The Pinks, okay, they wanted to secure. They wanted to secure their group of islands so they can protect their trade routes. The Pinks, for 2 long years of fighting on the island. After all that fighting, which really wasn't worth it, and I'm gonna explain it as I do this series on the Jernica, which I'm actually gonna make a sequel for it. It's called Burt Hill, and it's gonna be interesting how I do that. But so after 2 long years of fighting, they seized the island as their own, and after this, the Tans waited for the right moment to retake the island, which is like, you'll see. And the moment would come when the Tans noticed the current government was failing. There was civil war all over the Pinks' grand empire. And the most unrest was on the island of Jernica. The Tans saw their moment. And it was like 19 years after Jernica was captured by the Pinks and the armistice by both of them signed. The Tans sent an invasion force to retake the island once and for all. And the Pinks' morale was low, and this is because the Pinks have no idea why they're even fighting to protect a floating landfill of sand in the ocean. The Tans, on the other hand, are anxious to take the island back. This island not only was vital to keep out the pirates from messing with the Tans, Jernica itself was a piece of Tan's homeland by the time the Pinks took it. Because remember, it was 400 years it was part of the Tans, so the Pinks took it. So that's a long time, and probably be assimilating the culture, you know. Oh wait a minute, where was I? Alright, they decided to okay, so my bad. So after the Tans invaded, sent an invasion force, and now I'm going to talk about the Pinks' morale. The Pinks' morale is low. This is because the Pinks. Alright, I already read that. My bad. I'm tripping. The Tans, on the other hand, are anxious to take. Jeez, I already read. Okay, the island was not only vital to keep pirates out from messing with Tans. Jernica. Jeez, I already read that too. Alright, I'm gonna edit this part out too. But the Pinks on the island are on the edge of mutiny. It's almost done, by the way, guys. They're on the edge of mutiny. Some even deserting and forming independent militias. Most of the militias are led by generals and handsome political leaders. You know, like rich people, like, you know, everything handsome is. That's it. If the Tans do succeed in taking Jernica, they could defend or even just invade the Greens if necessary. There's even the possibility of freeing the Pinks from their failing government. Lots of Pinks at first would see the Tans as liberators that would bring stability to their country, especially on Jonica. This is the main factor of the Pinks on Jonica morale being so low. The Pinks want the Tans to bring stability to Jonica along with the rest of the Pink Nation. This is why most of the militia in Jonica are allied or loyal to the Tans. So this is like a guerrilla warfare. It's kind of like a civil war on Jonica, you know what I'm saying? And this is why most... Alright, So, the ultimate question is, and you might be asking yourself, who will win the fight for Jonica? Will the Pinks get their act together and push the Tans back? Or will the Tans finally reclaim the long-lost homeland? And that's basically the whole plot of Jonica, right there.
I'd like to talk to you about the upcoming movie. You've given me glimpses of some of the scripts, some of the dialogues. Compared to the previous films, I can say a lot of improvement because on the previous films it didn't have many voices except for some of the soldiers like mildly communicating and screaming. But this one it has more emphasis on dialogue.
I'm trying to fix my helmet. Jesus. I'm so sorry.
So basically, what I'm saying is, you've grown a lot with the writing with the emphasis on more character development. As I've said, there's more characters, more of them have the names. So as a prequel, I think it's a pretty good prequel because you're exploring the characters more.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting, or I'm also asking, are there going to be some of the scenes that are going to show like little side stories that are like standalones of some of the characters, like for example the generals or
the other
characters and their backstories?
I'm thinking of it's a prototype idea in my head, you know what I'm saying? But if you remember, if you watch Fort Tucker and if you watch Fort Sugar, remember, I don't know, it's Captain Raider, that one. You remember? I'm thinking about doing a standalone maybe series or just a whole film on him and explain his backstory. And I think if I did that, that'd be cool. And then Sergeant Strawberry's story, that's one's it has a lot of potential for that too. And basically, and if I have time in this podcast, I'll explain the character motivation behind Sergeant Strawberry and how that applies to this film. And yeah, that's basically it.
Alright, so I'm voicing one of the characters, which is one of the generals.
Yes.
In the series.
General Bohr.
Yeah, General Bohr.
And I need actually a lot of voice actors for this. I could probably do most of the minors myself, but it's not going to be as good as if I get other people, so...
Yeah, what's impressive is I like the characterization of, for example, army men. They're kind of like soldiers.
Yeah.
They're like extendable, but you give them emphasis with like the voices and everything. So you highlight these, faceless characters that have a lot of different variations of them. They're almost identical, but they can be distinguished by the voices and for example, unique looks. If you feel like, for example, the general, you have him like a blue hat, for example, like some minor changes that like highlight the differences.
Yeah. Alright, so, what's his name? Diggin, maybe you have a question since you're also part of this podcast. I guess I can take turns to answer both your questions, so.
Yeah.
Diggin, if you have a question, feel free.
Diggin, are you alive?
Diggin, don't die! Ah! Don't die! No, don't die! Okay, good! Yay, you did it! Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was Cobra Kai for a second. With Miguel Diaz for a second. I couldn't really see it that good in the camera, but...
Windows 10.
Oh my gosh, look, the VC text with tranny. Jesus. Some people. Okay, so you want to ask a question?
Oh yeah. So
I'm taking this off.
Like, when was the first one you're like, yeah?
Oh, wait a minute. You gotta. I can't. You people can't hear you.
I think you got him on low voice. He was saying.
Yeah.
He was asking how long have you been doing stop motion?
3 years. 3 years have been.
3 years?
Hold on.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been doing stop motion for 3 years.
What was the inspiration to use toy soldiers?
Actually, there was this guy. His name is Michael Ackerman. He is basically the grandfather of Armymen stop motion, and he made 4. If you count it, the prisoner operation. Oh, that he made 2 parts. It's 4 films, and he's like people. There was occasionally Armymen stop motion here and there, but he's the one that created the whole community, basically. Really, what made me do the Armymen is because before that I was in Angry Birds plushes. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, like, and I still have some of them today, my favorites. But actually over here I got the big one, the Mighty Eagle. But so I was looking at trying these different hobbies. I tried cars, diecast. It was crazy, bro. I was a dumb chap back then. But
Have you ever tried Legos?
dude, Legos. I always had bad luck with them. I never had the patience to like build them. So unfortunately, to do all that. I mean, I don't even have the patience now, and it's something I really just don't like doing. Like, I'd rather build on editing software, honestly. If you know what I'm saying, build a film, than build a Lego.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really, and then really after I saw that film, because I remember when I was 7 and stuff, I watched a film, and I think it's kind of like, here's the story goes. I think I looked up, like, because I remember I looked up like Army Men. I think I kind of remembered there was something, so I had a feeling, so I said Army Men, and I found this film, and basically I'm not going to go into that, but my point is that's how it all started, was that one guy. And that one guy is what created, you know, Armymenlife.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember watching him when I was like really young, and that's when I actually did stop motion. I was more of the kid who ADD sort of allowed me to have an elevated level of patience on things I enjoyed quite a bit. So it was like I could sit down for hours working on an animation, and it would be like the next day where I would have like this massive, like 45-minute animation, and then I would just like sleep for like five days. I don't know. I slept for a long time.
Compared to how you sleep now.
I don't know where those movies are, but I can find them. I'm not gonna say they're good.
Yeah, probably low frame rate.
Probably, yeah. They were like, I mean, they were a decent frame rate. It was like 12 frames a second, so it's like not bad for someone who's like 10.
Yeah.
But not great for stop motion. Very, very.
I don't know if you saw his Sabertooth, but that one is like the best Armymen stop motion film to date.
Sorry, I'm sneezing so much over here.
But yeah. But yeah, have you seen? It's called the Sabertooth. It's made by the same guy, Michael Ackerman. It's like the best one to date for the Armymen stop motion.
I only watched, I think, Armymen Plastic Apocalypse.
That's part of it. He made a new movie called The Sabertooth, and I'll send you that too.
Alright, cool.
But I really want Dick and ask a question because I'm kind of curious.
I don't know what to ask.
Oh yeah.
That's like the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to insert my StarCraft
Okay.
CD.
You don't have to ask anything, but see, this thing's already at 6 gigabytes.
Oh wow. What are you recording it at? 8K?
MP4. It's 40 minutes, so that's why we've been on here.
Yeah, I used to do stop motion a ton when I was little, but it was like mostly Legos. It's because the reason why I even started Legos in the first place was because a lot of my friends did Legos. They all did stop motion with Legos, especially one of my friends, Jacob Isom. He did a ton of these animations in Lego, and I was so impressed because he got like the frame rate down. He was doing it at like some crazy frame rate. It wasn't industry standard, but it was definitely smooth, like 20 frames a second, so it was like decently smooth. And I was always like, how can he get his animations so smooth? And like the max frame rate I could get. It's like, my animations are always so smooth. Funny thing, I still have that laptop.
Yeah, I'm glad we actually do this podcast. I want to thank Victorian because I've been looking around for people who could do something like this.
Oh, of course, man. No problem. Always glad to help out.
Oh, I'm actually going to go get a drink. It'll be like 40 seconds, actually. It'll be quick, and yes, I'm... Alright, I'm back.
I cannot believe
I was afraid y'all abandoned me. I'm like, no! I know that was a joke. Bro, oh my,
I have this thing, in the educational world. So I have this game called Reading Blaster, Pre-Algebra Math Blaster, and Algebra Math Blaster. I've been collecting these games. There's like, what are they about? They're literally games that are teaching math, reading, and like education.
They're like from the 90s?
Yeah, they are, and I'm collecting them.
I'm adjusting the volume right now. There we go. For like...
Microsoft Windows compatible.
This just turned into a voice call, not a podcast.
I also got the crappy Eternal Darkness expansion pack for Quake, unofficial.
Yeah. So basically, back to podcast mode. I want to be a filmmaker, and I want to create my own studio and stuff like that. Basically, I wonder if we can pause this music for a second. Nah, forget it. Don't pause it. Don't pause it. Don't pause it. Hold on. I'm gonna.
Go adjust.
I don't know if it worked that.
Oh yes. To get through this, I typed hands attack.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the exact movie I watched. It's so funny. And like when we recorded this, the smooth.
Yeah. And the editing, I'm probably going to actually zoom into, like, your computer on the screen. Pop it into it for one to... It's going to be really funny. I gotta edit this whole thing. It's just going to take me a day or two, maybe 3. and then I'll send it to Victorian and he can post on his channel and stuff like that. But can I pause this music? I don't know. Or just what you guys want to leave it? It's up to y'all. I just can't. How do you skip it? There we go. Yes! 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 Perfect! Perfect! I just acted like literally PewDiePie there. Victoria, I'm sure you have a lot of questions, so I want to get through those.
By the way, what would you like to say is the preferred frame rate?
I gotta say, 12 to 14 frames, as I said before. If I get the 24 frames, that's gonna take me like a day just to do a minute. Compared to like 12 frames, it can take me 5 hours. Because think about my animating style, it's fast, but you know what's going on, like it makes sense. That's my animation style, basically, in a nutshell. Oh hey, Goblin Slater.
Hey, by the way, Goblin was the one that voiced Derek in the Get a Cardboard.
Ah.
Yeah.
I might. If you want a voice in my film, then you can hit me up, and I can maybe get you. I'd probably get you. I actually made main character. I actually know a good character you can voice, but ain't too hard.
Who is it?
The name is Caesar Bonaparte. Victorian, you would know the guy with that sword in Fort Tucker.
Oh yeah.
Basically, it's part of the war room scene, which I have yet to film. It's almost there, guys. I'm almost completely done with film production, so it's almost there.
When do you think it's gonna be finished, like precise date?
Okay, so I really have a strong feeling it's gonna be done by Christmas 2021, which is this year Christmas. Because I can't see it being more than that. If it's more than that, I might as well just delay it to my birthday. Because if I go and delay, I'm just gonna make it worth it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I really don't think it's gonna be delayed.
Episode 2, I'm trying to time mine until the end of this summer. Probably I'll complete it because
yeah.
I think this summer especially I also have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I think we can safely say this summer will be like the release of all of our sequels, yours being a prequel.
Yeah, you gotta think about it though. I have Victoria, you might have to turn your mic up a little bit, just a tiny bit. There we go.
I think it was just me being
it says music, you know? But well, I don't know what I was gonna say. You gotta think about though. I have almost 6 months to edit till then. You know, let's see, it's June 8th. If I started a few days ago editing it, I have like 6 months and like at least a few days to like edit this, and I have at least 6 months. And you gotta think about it. You take my film so far, it's less than 10 minutes, I'll say that. But just the film itself, it's less than Goblin Satyr and Home. Where's Home? I'll check that. I can't, Goblin Satyr, I can't look at the message right now, but I'll get to it after the podcast. But I have 6 months after. I mean 6 months to edit, and I really should be done by then. Like, if I'm not done by then I don't know. That would be a big surprise. Because Fort Tucker, it was my first film. It took me, let's say, 2 months. And since then, I've gotten better, a lot better than I originally was. So I doubt. Kind of like this music. Not a good mood, but for like what we're talking about now, but I really think it's gonna be right on schedule. I don't think it's gonna be delayed. If it is, then so be it. I'll have to do it. It's gonna hurt. I'm gonna cry in a corner, but it is what it is. So, alright, let's answer some more questions. It's already at 8 gigabytes, this thing. So, yeah.
The size of Justice League,
yeah. I'm surprised it's not 10 already.
Are you sure it's not installing like 500 gigabytes of file on the computer?
Alright, if I wasn't editing this, this'd be a nightmare. Alright, I'll make the bloopers unlisted and I'll specifically post it here. You'll have to pin it.
Literally digging, joining in with like...
Dude, you have to admit that was funny. That was a little funny.
I consent.
Yeah, skip this music.
18.
Skip this music, bro. I ain't deal with this. Actually, no, keep it. That's a lie. Keep it. Well, it's probably like 45 minutes because I gotta edit some stuff out. Including dig.
Podcasts are usually like 1 hour long, like maximum. Such, you know.
Bruh.
Are you talking about Max Mofo?
Yeah.
Someone said something about another podcast that YouTube deleted. What was that about? Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear it. Alright, let's get to another question, or else this is going to get too long. I have so much more to edit.
Alright, so...
You did not hear me almost swear.
I can play the epic track so we can wrap it up. Like with the... one of my favorite tracks we can play, like with the epic
yeah.
track. It's Loyalty Free too, so...
I have any more questions, just in general?
Alright.
I don't know what I want to know. I don't know what I want.
Bruh. Oh no, it played my entire playlist, hold on.
Perfect.
Oh no, it's the music.
You know what I want to do? I want to play the Bad Batch music, the ending.
Oh yeah.
Or like the Spider-Man I'm Ready. No, don't do it. That's copyright. But
yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's the non-copyright. There it is. Oh god, it's playing the playlist again. Jesus Christ.
Bro.
I will,
let me see what goblins say to her. If you want me to voice the polling, I can do it. Nice. And who's pending a friend? Oh, my mom actually sent me a friend request on Discord. Nah, it's fine. I accept it. She's cool.
Oh, there it is.
Perfect! Yes! Alright, so...
what would be your conclusion? What do you expect for the future after this project? What are you planning like for this entire series, and what is your entire goal for this series to deliver?
For the next film, I have 2 words. Jonica sequel. I want to make a sequel to Jonica. I really think this film now... Only thing is sequel now, this film now is gonna do great. Okay? It looks very promising. More than all my films combined. And you see the Victorian, they already have those planes and CGI. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I think people are gonna really like it. I think this film's gonna really revolutionize the stop motion genre a little bit. I really have that feeling. But, what I want to do in the future is, like, I'm in the 10th grade, so I'm just I want to really just go to college. Okay, I'm gonna go to college, and I'm gonna study for like as much time I need. I'm gonna start to become a filmmaker. And what I want to do is make my own studio, my own filmmaking studio, and I just want to be a filmmaker. This is like my dream. Like this, Jonica is my dream. Soldier's Lane is my dream. All right, it's what it was. It's what I've been destined to do. It's like, I don't know if y'all believe in it, but it's what God. If you guys don't believe in it, I don't care. But it's what God has given me. Okay, it's what He's given me, and I really take that to heart, and I want to use the skills and gifts that God's given me, and I'm gonna use that, and as long as you do that, then I say you're a man. You're a true Chad, son. But in all realness, I really want my filmmaking career. Like, I think Jonica's a decisive film, because Jonica, if it does really well, it can launch my career earlier than it can launch my career early, and I can get a nice fan base going, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, that's basically it. But for the joke, I'm thinking about even doing there's also purples in this film, actually. There's blues, grays, also, and I have an idea. It's called I forgot, Lurdun. It's called Lurdun, basically. Or no, I'm sorry, Verdun. It's called Verdun. And what Verdun is, basically like my universe's version of the Battle of Verdun in World War I, basically. But it's a little different, that's a twist to it. But that's like a prototype of a film in my mind I'm thinking of. And I actually have a prototype script on it as well. I'm starting to write on it. The Pinks is definitely getting a sequel. Unless it really does terrible, which I don't think it will. It looks very promising, but... So basically, I'm gonna give you a little insight. Burt Hill is basically right after it's like a month after the invasion of Jonica. So it's not that long. Unless you're experiencing either a person in that world. And the Tans have taken, I guess you say, the southern island. South of the island, and its shore mostly. And Little Falls. And they're, I guess you can say, I'm actually trying to think of this. I guess probably what's going to be is they're going to launch an offensive or something like that, and they're going to try to take Burt Hill, which is like, I can say one of the last strong points, or maybe just the last strong point in general on Jonica. And I'm thinking about even making a city map. I think Jonica has a lot of lore I can deliver for a film, and just in general. That's basically it, but is there anything else you want to ask for this conclusion? Hold on, I'm gonna turn this music off. Or pause it.
Definitely follow it. I've been doing supporting for around 5 years now on the same boat. How old are you as a person?
Hold on, I'm gonna turn this music off. How do you pause it? Did you pause it? So I can't.
I was saying, how old are you as of currently?
Well, kinda. I'm gonna say I'm a teenager. I'm gonna say that. I'm between 15 and 17. I'm just gonna say that.
Alright. I'm just saying because I'm 17 right now, and I've been doing this thing for 5 years, and I can definitely tell you're doing an amazing job for someone near the same age as me or younger.
Yes, and not just that. I've been doing this 3 years, and you've been doing it 5, and Yeah.
So compared to the progress, you're definitely gonna do some wonders in a year or two. ahead in the future. And the fact that you keep doing this and are so devoted to this, it's quite inspiring. And I wish you the best luck for future projects. And I hope that this project with Armyman will inspire more people to do stuff with Armyman as
Yes.
they have been done before in the past with the OG
Yes.
Armyman stuff, as well as some other inanimate objects, because not many people use these, and they would rather use like heavy puppets that are more overly complex, but then something this simple to try and give it life, try to give it more than it already is.
Thank you, man. And I'm even thinking about doing something like, cause I have this like creature called Carnival, and maybe we're gonna make a separate series called Carnival. That's like something else in my head. Maybe it would be like a series to go alongside with Soldier's Land, basically, and it'd be its own universe, basically, separate from Soldier's Land, also. So it really want to be a spin-off, unless you really want to call that so. But I think we both of us have a future in this, and I also wish you the best of luck. And I'm actually curious, because you already have 22,000. That's pretty good, pretty good for YouTube ranks. So for a stop motion, so I'm actually gonna watch how you grow, and I'm excited, and I'm very happy for you.